Everyone shows you the P&L, but nobody shows you the reality. The discipline, the routine, the late nights, and the mental game. This is for the traders who know the charts are only half the battle. Welcome to the Wednesday Beyond P&L show.
All right. Hello, guys. Hello, Joshua. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing great. How about you?
Perfect. Great to hear. Yeah, I'm all right. Let me just set the chat and we can dive into some of the topics that we have prepared today for you. Guys, just so you know, the giveaway is still on. So 5 more traders are going to get 5 more accounts. And it's going to work the way that throughout the YouTube, if you come here, then just type message into a chat so I know that you are on a stream. Say hello, anything you want to. And at the end, I'm going to take the list of all of you. I'm going to copy paste it into the wheel of names. And live, we are going to choose 5 random winners of the account. So that's as for the giveaway. And today we've got a new host, special one, Joshua, which is a head of the risk team. I think I'm going to leave the introduction on you. Could you tell us a little bit about you and your trading so traders can make an image or picture of what kind of a trader are you?
Yes. So my name's Joshua. I've been in this industry, trading industry, for about 7 years now. For the prop industry, 5 years. So I've started to work 5 years ago. I think around COVID, post-COVID. I think I was hired with one of the big firms that most of you guys probably know. Yeah, worked there as like one of the head of support. Then moved on with different companies. Also worked with them, helped with streamlining their operations, adjusting things to make things more efficient, making things more, I would say, usable, making use of the tools, different types of tools. Then ended up here in Audacity Capital, and it's been doing great here. And I've been trading for a while, specifically on the FX industry. My favorite currency is Euro USD, and I like SMC, so smart money concepts. But I'm not one of those guys that do a lot of explanation or theories with SMC. I'm just the basic structure, order block, something like that. But
All right, perfect. Maybe the question that I would have from the top of my head is, because obviously you've got a lot of experiences, you probably analyzed and you researched a lot of accounts, a lot of traders. What do you believe is like the number one, the most common mistake that traders do, the ones that fail the challenge or they fail the funded account? What have you noticed when analyzing the accounts is the reason why most of the traders are doing that?
I think the biggest thing that I would see is when emotions kick in, because we see accounts that just say they've been trading for 1 month. Let's say 1 month, sometimes in drawdown, sometimes break even, a little profit, back to break even. We could see consistent risk, consistent lot size, consistent instruments that they use. We could see that their strategy is consistent overall. RR ratio, their risk per trade, risk per overall per day, and how much they are like willing to lose on that day. Let's say 3% per day. Then let's just say they make 4% on the account. Let's say this is the funded or the live account. Let's say they make 4%, 5%. Then things get a little tingly, I would say, or vice versa. Let's say account is almost on the drawdown period, or it's about to hit the daily drawdown. Then we would see things outside of their strategy. So higher lot sizes, or sometimes lower lot sizes, but most of the time higher lot sizes. Their trading times or durations of holding the trades start to change. Let's just say on average, maybe we could see 20 minutes, most of the trades, then suddenly changes to 5 minutes, 4 minutes, seeing then them trying to ride volatile movements. So overall, at the end of the day, as most of the traders know, probably it's up in the head. It's all about emotions. So I think that's the one thing that is the hardest part of trading
Yeah.
is handling your emotions. So yeah, that's like the number one thing I see on accounts from the previous companies I worked with until now. Um, same thing from like 5 years ago. Same thing. Trader is consistent. Suddenly something happens. Maybe they are about to hit the profit target. Let's just say they just need 0.5% more profit just to hit the profit target to go to the next stage. Then they try to risk more, try to take more setups that are more risky or outside their strategy or normal setups that they would trade. So yeah, I think that's the most common thing that I would see.
I do 100% agree with you that the emotional side of a trading is sometimes more important than the strategy itself. We've got so many strategies on the internet online that you can learn, but the emotions is something that every trader needs to deal with individually. However, there are some common patterns, common mistakes that we all do, such as you said from the very start, the revenge trading, when you get into a drawdown and now you start doubling, tripling your positions because you want to be out of the drawdown, recover as fast as possible. And it usually ends up you failing the evaluation completely. And actually, a lot of traders on the last stream were asking about these type of factors or talking points. In this live stream, I wanted to bring them out. So I would like to talk about some of the questions, some of the topics that you guys requested on the live stream. I went through most of the questions from the live stream, and I would say probably like 80% of it was emotion, psychology, discipline, routine. We're going to see some of the questions today. However, if you have any specific questions, this is not the last stream. We can even do it more often. Drop it in a chat and we'll definitely dive into it. We will try to provide you with insights, ideas, tips, recommendations, always with the guest today, with Joshua, and some ideas or some tips from the traders who've been in industry for quite some time. I've seen a lot of traders succeed, seen a lot of traders failed, and also having some of their experiences on their own. So I would probably start with the first one. Let me just double check the chat because there's already a lot of questions coming. And yeah, someone was just asking, I was just quickly reminded, someone was asking about the giveaway, how it works. You just type anything into chat, I know you're here, and then eventually at the end of the stream, we'll spin the wheel of names. So the first question from the last live stream was this one. And actually it plays in the card because the trader said, how do I overcome emotional trading? This is my biggest challenge. And I think it's for all traders. Would you like to react to it first, or would you like me to start?
Yeah, I could start first.
Perfect.
So a common phrase or quote or a common reminder in the trading industry is the word, a quote, set and forget. I think that helps a lot because when you keep looking at your phone, your MT5 platform or DX trade, if you like keep looking at your P&L, like your unrealized P&L, you see it sometimes go green, sometimes go red. That like messes up with your emotions, definitely. So a good thing that I've also practiced with myself in my trading is set and forget. I started with scalping strategy, 5 minute time frame, around that range, 5 minute, 15 minute. I started with that. Didn't really work well with me, so I tried to adjust in a more slower scale. So around 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. Then that really helped because instead of always looking at my phone, keeping an eye on the trades, like, oh, should I close this? Oh, should I
Yeah.
risk more? Or I'll probably partial, like, this could be a break even trade. So instead of previously doing that, now I just set and forget. Have a stop loss, take profit. That's it. Sometimes I use an EA to like partial my trades. So if it hits a point, then 50% goes partial. Then my stop loss moves to break even. But in other words, I try to avoid as much as possible on watching the
The
screen.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the P&L jumping ups and down. You're in a profit 1 minute, second minute you're in a loss. Your emotions start running into that process, and you start doing a lot of mistakes. Definitely with that. I can't personally do that because I'm a fundamental trader, so I need to react to the news. So I need to be always like within the market. But for technical traders who see some sort of a technical pattern or something that market repeats on the charts, when we talk about candlestick formations or whatever that could be, this is actually a good piece of advice to just set the trade, set the stop loss, how much you're willing to lose, set the take profit, close the laptop, do something else. I think it's going to help you a lot to overcome those emotional struggles that every trader faces at the very start of the journey. So for beginners, I think that is a great piece of advice. And what I would like to maybe add is that no one is emotionless. It's basically you need to accept it for what it is. But I guarantee you that the longer you do it, the better you will handle it eventually. Because if you go to the same scenario, whatever emotion that arises from that scenario, once it's going to happen again and again, the more time it's going to happen, the better you will know the emotion and the better you will handle it eventually. So that's also what I wanted to add. And also, you maybe want to try find out the reason or what was the source of that emotion. Was it the manufacturer? Like you are afraid of losing the money? If yes, then you should try to trade smaller accounts or not trading the money you can't afford to lose whenever it comes to prop trading or broker trading, because that is usually like the biggest emotional hit for you as a trader. To be afraid of losing that money, you should trade only what you can afford to trade. And if it's a self-doubt in emotions, if you're doubting the position, if you're doubting the strategy, you should always remember that markets are just a bunch of probabilities that we cannot influence in any possible way. So I'm getting back to the fact that you need to accept it for what it is. And over time, you get definitely better with it. That would be my point on that. You can let us also know in the chat if you have any like a holy grail for this, but I don't think so. I don't think there is any holy grail for handling emotions. And I spoke to so many psychology coaches, or I can call it psychology coaches, and all of them told me that just to name the emotion, try to find a way how to manage it, but there's not a secret that we wouldn't know about that basically can turn this situation upside down and we're going to be emotionless.
Yeah. So if someone in the chat has like a holy grail strategy, then hit me, send me a DM. Then I'd
Yeah,
like to.
definitely.
But I've been looking for years. Other people have been looking for years and still hasn't found one.
Most
Unfortunately.
definitely. I mean, there's tons of videos on YouTube. You can also talk to AI, but I don't think you're going to learn something that doesn't make sense when you think about it yourself in common sense. When you give it a 10 or 20 minutes and on a day, and you just think about what emotions you went through, but you can give it a go. Look, I've been trading for 12 years and still I haven't found any holy grail. So good luck with that.
Even with AI now, I thought like strategies would change because with the help of AI algorithm and stuff. But still the same thing. People try
Yeah.
to write an EA using like an AI or something. But at the end of the day, they still try to turn off the EA and manually close the trade. So going outside the strategy that the EA made. So at the end of the end of the day, it's all about
Yeah,
emotion.
that's a good tip. I go to the gym and stop trading immediately if I feel too emotionally unstable. I mean that's what you want, what you can do. You can't basically prevent the situation when you get emotional, but after you get emotional when trading, you can do something. And when talking about the psychology coaches, the hobby is probably on the list, on the very top of the list, what you should do as a trader to have something you can do when you are being mad about trading, when you are having drawdown, losing streak, when you're in open loss. Just you need to convince yourself to do something else.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Me personally, I try to ride my bike. So go on a like a 1 hour
Mhm.
bike ride. Sometimes I just go on YouTube, try to eat something. Basically, anything that lets you forget about what you were trading. Because if you keep
Exactly.
thinking about it, then you're gonna end up opening your phone or your computer, then just looking at the trade, then probably going outside uh, your plan, trading plan. Yeah.
Exactly. Trading should not be like 24 hours just you sitting in front of the chart and either checking the positions or checking the setup. You should also limit it a little bit. I think one of the questions that we're going to discuss, you can maybe bring it in because it's in a correlation to this question or to the topic that we came to. And it comes down to the question of overtrading. Let me see. Set hard limits. Yeah, here's it, screen time. So last time someone said overtrading because of boredom is my biggest challenge. How do you set a hard limit for screen time to avoid chasing noise? The screen time is also important, as we just said. To limit the emotions, you need to somehow convince your brain to stop, walk away, go to gym, do a hobby. But eventually, you can also kind of stop the emotion to happen by limiting your screen time. Because if you are watching the charts for 6 straight hours, the chances of you making mistakes are increasing with every hour you are trading. Because as this guy said, sometimes trading out of the boredom, not having a hard limit. And if you're going to be sitting for 5 hours, 6 hours in front of a chart, you're not going to open any trade. You're going to get frustrated, then start FOMO, the boredom, all the emotions start accumulate, and eventually you're going to do the mistakes. So I would probably ask you, Joshua, do you have any like exact time limit for how much you can spend on the charts?
Yeah. Now
Do
I
you?
just try. Yeah. Now I try to do like 1 hour less, 1 hour less. But I remember back then when I was starting, I was more into like stock trading. So,
Mhm.
and the strategy is more of like the open of the like New York exchange. So in my time zone, that's like 9 p.m. So what I would do is like wait for the exchange to open. Then my strategy is basically within the first 5 minutes of the open. So look for specific candles, look for specific patterns, then enter there. Then
Mhm.
while I was doing that, I was also trying to backtest another strategy where it works for a more longer period. So what I end up doing is I start at 9 p.m. or like 8 p.m. So pre-market,
Mhm.
8 p.m. Then I end up sleeping or stopping at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. So that is, I would say that is not healthy based on my experience. I do not suggest doing that. So right now, from moving to like a scalping strategy, move to like more of a intraday or more of a swing trade. I could now just spend like 1 hour.
Mhm.
It's not even like 1 hour at this like 1 hour like continuous, so it's like spread out throughout the day. So 1 hour
Yeah.
in total. So that gives more freedom to do things. You could do sports, you can do other hobbies, you can spend time with your family, your loved ones, or even try something else, try something new. So I
Yeah.
think this question really shocked me. The first part, overtrading because of boredom. So basically, you're just bored, so you decided to trade. So I think that's
Yeah.
what's happening. So
Now I'm gonna. I've seen in the chat just someone said I apply for the job when I'm not trading, and it's maybe sometimes a little bit controversial, but I think that if you're a beginner, you should not be focused on being full-time trader because you're going to basically also uh, you not going to be doing the mistakes from the topics we just discussed, over trading, having too much screen time, or trading out of the boredom. If you are at the very beginning of your journey, which is also quite a nice topic, you should have either job, part time, or doing some business on the side, it's distracting you from a lot of issues that you're going to approach when trading. And also, I think it serves multiple purposes, not only the one that I just mentioned, but also what is controversial. Everyone has that dream that becoming a full-time trader. I don't think it's easily achievable. And I think most of the traders who are promoting or are being promoted as full-time traders are not actually full-time traders, and they have something apart to not only handle emotions, but relying on a trading as your only source of an income is quite dangerous and can run these emotions quite hard, because if you take a look at the markets, and as I said, they're not very predictable. It's a bunch of probabilities, right? And you don't know if you're going to have enough to cover all of your expenses on a month, on a year. In trading, you can't guarantee anything. And again, you're going to get into problems of emotions and psychology, because you don't have guaranteed income for the next month, next 3 months. So having a job or having a part-time, having a business beside a trading is such a great thing to have. And I'm speaking from my experience. I started trading, as I said, 12 years ago. For first few years, I tried to be a full-time trader, but then I realized that since I am having either a collaboration or I am having a business aside, I am having a job, it's way more easier to deal with the emotions that comes purely from the manufacturer in trading.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat. He said like, I sleep 23 hours. So that means like what? You do something for 1 hour a day, then you go back to sleep. I think that's I think
Yeah.
that's a bad thing, so don't do that. Uh, I have a take on that also.
Sure.
The jobs. One of the recent guys that we flagged that requested a payout. Basically, we've done an interview with him, a risk interview. So on that interview, we asked him like, how long have you been trading, this and that, which companies have you or prop firms have you traded with. He mentioned that he started trading uh, 3 months ago. 3 months ago, then he already had multiple payouts plus this upcoming payout. Then it was like it definitely raised a flag for us, because in reality, it's very very rare to, especially trading with prop firms, because there's rules like drawdown rules plus other like prohibited practices. It's almost impossible that within 3 months started trading, had no prior experience, then you get multiple payouts from big prop firms, then requested a payout on Audacity Capital. So obviously it raised the investigation for us. We did more digging and found out he was doing account management. So he was working with someone that is handling accounts on WhatsApp and Telegram, and we found that guy. So whoever's listening on chat, make sure to watch out, because we have plenty of great tools to look out for these guys, or like account management, which
I
is not.
mean, I don't think it's a great thing to even think about it, because I know there was a huge trend with the signal providers. Now there's this trend and so on. But you don't want to, as a trader, you don't want to rely on a third-party platform or third-party tool or person. If you want to be a trader, it doesn't make sense if you're going to be taking the signals or letting someone else to manage your accounts. I mean, this doesn't give you anything from the trading lifetime trading lifestyles that you can have. So I actually don't understand this, why people doing it. I mean, maybe they don't really trade and they just want to get the payout. As I said, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a common thing here also. In my country, I'm in Asia, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a common thing where people introduce you to this type of program, and they just say, "Let me use your ID. You could pay for it, then we could split the money we make." So, especially for people who are looking for money, they're like, they are like the biggest targets for these scammers. So unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out for the long term, especially. So yeah.
All right, I understand. I'll bring another question, and I would like to first ask people in the chat, because that was one of the last questions on the previous stream, and someone asked which comes first, the strategy or the discipline in your trading. I would like to hear what you guys think it is, for you at least, so we can get a
It's like
view of.
it's like asking what came first, an egg or the chicken.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But it's personal for every trader. For some traders, the strategy is the main thing, or some traders believe that the strategy is the holy grail. But you can't be a successful trader with having both. However, it's also important in trading journey what you focus on from the very start, if it's the discipline or the strategy. Once it's strategy, both, yeah, function without both.
Sleep
Can't.
first. That's the wrong answer, my friend. Someone said sleep first on chat.
What's the habit? Instantly improve, trading performance. Okay, great to keep up. I mean, okay, I'm gonna start with myself, and then you can give me your take on it, Joshua. For me, I believe strongly it's the first discipline, and then the strategy. It's quite a weird question, because comparing the two, it's not the best, but I think for every person who wants to get into trading, he should firstly set up some sort of a routine, consistency, discipline, to have exact, as we were talking about, to have a screen time limit, to have some of the limits for yourself, not only the limits that you are given by the prop firm, like a drawdown limits, but you should have your limits in how much you're willing to risk and so on. And eventually you also build in a routine of how often you approach the market, what times you're going to take a look. Like, for example, if you would like to trade volatile sessions, you go London session, New York session open. So you build some sort of, at least it worked for me, I built some sort of a calendar with a routine implemented within the calendar, so I know exactly what times I'm going to be watching the market, looking for the setups, what times I'll get the data releases, the news. And the strategy, it was not a huge factor for me from the start, before I have learned to have a routine. And eventually you also need to have a routine for learning, for building a strategy. So for me, it's definitely the discipline.
Yeah.
In your view, what comes first?
Yeah, I'll go against you. I'll go opposite what you said.
Okay.
So it's interesting. But from when I started with strategy. Strategy, zero discipline at all. So followed followed patterns, followed different types of patterns, cup and T with handle, cup with handle, something pattern, dragon pattern. I don't know if that's a thing still, but dragon patterns, flag patterns, different types of patterns. I started with like trading with that type of strategy. So yeah, started with strategy, played with it. Then a few months later, I realized, oh, okay, it's not about strategy. At the end of the day, it's about discipline. But overall, both are important, strategy and discipline.
Yeah.
But I would say it's way more important. Discipline is way more important, because I remember me and my friends back then, we did a test where we just flipped a coin. And I think some of you guys, some of the traders, has heard about this. Flip a coin, either buy or sell. Then with a 1-to-2 RR ratio, then we did that test. I think 100 trades back tested, and we did it on live also on like a micro account. That was back then. So micro account, I think micro or even a mini account. So traded it. At the end, it made money. So it was not about. I would say there was a bit strategy, but as long as you stay disciplined, I remember. I think it was London Open. London Open. Flip a coin. Exactly at this time, you must either buy or sell according to the coin. Then we tried that. we stick to that strategy, then stay
Yeah.
disciplined. It was two of us, no, three of us. So the three of us really helped because if someone's feeling a bit rebellious to go outside the strategy, then the other two could like, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Help you.
this is our real money. We're still high schoolers. Like we don't have jobs. Like, let's not risk this amount.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, both very important. I would say hard thing to do, hard thing to maintain discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't meant the discipline only in the sense of like having a routine throughout the day to showing up to the market, but also discipline in keeping the trading plan, keeping the same risk management, not going out of the trading plan. So I was talking about like discipline in general, but I get your point. And with the coin toss, actually, there are a couple of other studies, and also I've seen a guy on Instagram who was basically training chicken to press either buy or sell a button, and then went for the trade that chicken went for the food that was lying on both of the buttons, and just let the chicken decides what he's going to trade, if he's going to take long or short. And eventually the chicken was actually quite profitable, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a monkey that it was in 90s and 20s, yeah, somewhere around the year of 2000. There was an experiment that basically they were letting
With
a
stocks, I
monkey
think.
choose long or short. Do you know that?
Yeah, with stocks.
Yeah,
I think that was
yeah.
stocks. Yeah, it was
And
versus a human and a monkey.
yeah, and I think it actually outperformed the hedge funds, or a lot of hedge funds at that time. So, strategy for me sometimes, I believe it's so important, but sometimes I'd rather keep the discipline, not only in life but also in trading, in your trading plan and limits. But yeah, it's as you said, what comes first, chicken or egg? Both are important. Just then it gets to the preference of that person.
I
Let
think
me see.
I might try
Yeah.
and get a monkey and try to trade my personal funds using that strategy. I think that would go viral. I think.
Yeah, I guarantee you it would, and I would
Yeah.
be quite impressed if it were actually true, because it wasn't the first time I saw the chicken trading. There's a lot of traders try to do this sort of a strategy with an animal, and sometimes it's quite hilarious. But all the time I've heard that the animal was eventually profitable. So you can do it like this. How, by the way, how did it go? The coin toss with the strategy. Did you end up to be profitable?
Yeah, it made over from, I think, over the we did, I think, 3 months, 3 months every day London session. It
Mm.
made with like, I think it was 0.5 risk, 0.5 risk per trade. It
Mhm.
made overall within the 4 months, I think 10%. Then it was just a good timing back then where markets were very volatile. It was moving fast. So yeah, doing that amount with a coin toss, that's like, based on studies, that's like outperforming the, I think, S&P 500, or almost outperforming the S&P 500. So
Yeah.
outperforming hedge fund managers and stuff. But yeah, it was a fun experiment. We were
Yeah.
we were high school back then. So
Great experiments, though. It's nice to have fun sometimes, not to be rampy trader. Let me see if there are. I've got a couple of more questions, but I've seen a lot of questions in the chat, and quite a good ones. I mean, there's also traders who are asking, what would your advice be for someone stuck in a break even for months? I mean, if it's 4 months, we are just talking about it. I bet it's the strategy probably. If your strategy hasn't or isn't not having a profitable win ratio, so you're being stuck in break even, I would probably start thinking about changing the strategy.
yeah, yeah. Let's say stuck for 6 months. Yeah, I would probably check my strategy, but um, I'm pretty sure like your emotions are kicking in if you're still stuck in break even. But again, if you're new, then don't stress about it that much, because a lot of people, a lot of stories end up profitable after many
Mhm.
many years, 2 years, 3 years. It's rare to have someone make money within 1 year. It's kind of rare. So
Yeah.
it's like an up and down journey. So if you want an easier career, I would not suggest trading, but trading does make good money. It's hard,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that's true. That's true. It's. I've heard somewhere the quote: "Trading is the uh, hardest way to make easy money." And since ever, I remember that because it's very true. It's very easy to make money in trading, but it's really hard to get there. So, 100% agree with you. And back to the question: if it's like in a month, I think you need a hard reset to reevaluate the strategy. Because if you already have data of 6 months, 6+ months, then you should know if it's the strategy, if it's the emotions. But I would just do a hard reset of the trading.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, good question. How do you rebuild confidence after a losing streak? I think we talked about this last time with Federica about the confidence or having a losing streak. And maybe if not, then I'll just remind that losing streaks are a natural phase of every trader's journey. I mean, even if you're an experienced trader with 30 years in the financial markets, you are trading on a trading floor of a hedge fund. Once in a while, you are going to run into a losing streak. It's inevitable. So you just need to accept it as it is. There's no other way around losing streaks.
I think as long as you do back testing, try to build confidence with the strategy, try to know the strategy, then
Mhm.
if you're facing a losing streak, and if according to your testing, to your back testing, that you will have a losing week or losing streak, then you should not be worried at all. But
Mhm.
that's why I think it's very important. I think a lot of traders now, back then, like back testing was very, very normal. Back testing. Now I see a lot of people not even knowing how that works, how to
Yeah.
do that. There's a trading view has a great tool for back testing,
Yeah.
but having confidence on your strategy, how it works, you should know like how much is the probability for having this much winning streak, how much could be the losing streak. That should give you confidence that when you face a lot of losses, that you could
Mhm.
say like, okay, yeah, it's part of the game, part of the strategy. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing to keep in mind also.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many questions. I don't want to display them all because we would be here probably till the midnight. But I'll probably give traders a time if they would like to ask any question specifically to you. So, guys, within the chat, now, if you'll have any question for Joshua, now is the time.
Yeah.
I'll be also running through the people who joined today, so we can then spin the wheel. But definitely have probably
Yeah.
about 30 plus questions for the next session, so it's going to be hard to decide which one to answer. I'll probably guys do a poll in a Discord where you can vote what would like you to answer, us to answer. So we will be focused on the topics and the questions that are the struggles or the hurdles of majority of you. So we actually focus on
I think
what.
this is a good question on chat.
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
Question is like, how do you handle FOMO when you miss a big move? Me personally, I always try to think that there's gonna be another big move at
Hmm.
another time. So it's not like big move, then it never happens again. Again, the markets are repeating it. The market repeats itself. So try to think, keep that in your mind that it's gonna repeat. Don't worry. Maybe you
Hmm.
missed some big gains on that move, but at the end of the day, it's not about it's not about how much you make in that day. It's about how much you make at the long run. So consistency. So like a quote would be like, It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And for all the opportunities, there's an opportunity in the market every single day. If you miss one, the next one is behind the corner. So don't really make a big deal out of it, because I've guaranteed that 99.9% of traders who are in a chat miss a lot of opportunities, closed the trade too early, closed it in 0.5% in a profit, and then it went to 10 to 1 risk reward ratio, and you could have closed 3%. It's going to happen to you after years of trading. So don't really worry about it. You're going to catch the next one. So that's my take on it. I'm just seeing the first question, and I got a little bit excited because I haven't now seen any fundamental trader in it. And someone actually asked, what are some important economic indicators to watch out? To be honest, guys, I'm like fundamental analyst nerd. So if you'd have any questions regarding fundamentals, we can have a completely different session. Let me know in a Discord. Just for those of you who would like to just take a look into news or fundamental analysis, watch out always for central bank, CPI, growth, and labor market. Those four, write it down, and all the news that are within the category of four, you need to watch out, because they create the most of the volume, volatility, and also these are watched by the big players, the whales. So they move the markets based on the expectations of those four indicators. That's the first time, actually. Question for you, Joshua. Do you deal with the fundamental analysis, or you're simply technical?
I have a very great tool that beats
do?
all of the other tools. Yeah. So what you do is you go on X and follow Donald Trump. Whatever he tweets,
Yeah,
it moves the market. So that nothing beats that. But me personally, I don't listen to news. I think it messes up how I think, how I feel of the price. Gives me doubt. So me personally, again, it's not the same for everyone. So
Mhm.
I stay away from news. So I don't really look at news anymore. Aside from like, um, aside from like, let's say I'm trading with a prop firm, then news trading is not allowed. Then I would keep an eye on the news, making sure
Yeah,
that I don't open any trades during the news. But yeah, again, greatest tool, go on X, look for
that's
follow
true.
Donald.
That's true. I remember in 2016 when it was literally the same. When Trump tweeted something in 2016 in his first terms, it was just like these days. He tweeted something, the market, whenever it was gold, dollar, crypto, oil,
Crypto.
it always, yeah, a lot.
Back
In
then, like
2016, it was
crypto was
mostly crypto.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
these
was
days it's
Donald.
mostly oil and gold.
Yeah. It was back then. It was Elon Musk and Donald Trump with crypto.
Hmm.
So
Maybe the last question before we go to the giveaway. Someone is actually, and I don't know if we're going to agree to that or not, but we can have this agreement with the chat. I hope we don't want to insult anyone, but someone said, is it a must to have a mentor in trading, as most people put it, or is it possible to learn on your own? You would like to start with that?
yeah, I have a good take on this.
Go ahead.
Um, I've heard from this from someone else, so it's not from me, but it's like a very important thing that happened. From important thing that I've heard also.
Mhm.
Um, it's possible to learn trading for free. YouTube, there's a lot of free guides on YouTube, a lot of knowledge, a lot of people with experience on YouTube. You can do, you can start trading for free, but it's different when you try and learn something for free, and different from trying to learn something and you paid for it. Because when you pay for it, then it feels like, oh, I actually have to progress with what
That's
I'm learning. I actually have to learn, instead of like just watching YouTube. Because I started with just YouTube. I think I started with 1 year just YouTube. So it feels like, okay, I'm learning something, I'm taking down notes. I had like notes with like this thick of paper. So
yeah.
I was taking down a lot of notes, taking a lot of screenshots, PDFs, reading different types of guides, but it never really clicked for me until I spent my own money. I've risked my own money. Uh, it's a decent amount. Then it started to click. Okay, I'm actually committing now. I'm actually spending my actual money to try and learn. I better not, I better not mess up. I better make money in return. I better have an ROI
Yeah.
with this. So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind also. Again, you could learn for free on YouTube, but I would suggest trying to get a good mentor, try to sacrifice something so that you feel obligated to actually learn. Because, yeah,
That's a standpoint I have never actually thought about. Like, if you actually pay for that, you might as well like give it your best because you have your money invested in it. Because I was always like strictly against it because, and maybe that's just because what I saw mentors are studying is usually like what you can find online on the internet. I definitely get the standpoint that, as you just said, which is a good one, or the one that the learning curve can be faster because at least the mentor is going to point you at the right direction. However, you need to be very careful because there's a lot of people selling something you can find on the internet. If you just give it a 5-minute search, you're going to find that very information. So I was always kind of against it. I have never paid a mentor, but I know people who did and they're being successful. So yeah, it's a like double-edged sword. Sometimes it can be very beneficial for you, but sometimes you're gonna spend the money for nothing. So be careful, guys.
also don't expect like you following or paying for a course or following a mentor, don't expect that his strategy would work for you.
Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't work because again, it's different strategies for different types of people, different risk appetite, different like different, some could handle losing uh 20% in drawdown, no, 15% in drawdown. Some
Mhm.
could not handle like doing negative 5% in drawdown. So you know it's different things, different people. So do your research, be careful of scammers. There's a lot of scammers. There's even scammers with my name, scamming people on Discord. So watch out,
Really?
don't send
Oh
any
yeah,
money. So watch out. It's a
on
crazy
Discord,
world.
it's a daily bread. Yeah, on Discord, be very careful. People's going to be pretending there's someone else, so just pay the attention to things. Okay, so we could go just like this for probably hours as there's questions come and go. So I'll probably move it on to the giveaway. And I would ask you guys, to all of you who are here, to also drop one more message into chat so the system
Drop
takes. Yeah,
W's in the chat. I always wanted to try that. So
can be anything. You can do W's in the chat.
W's
I
in the
just
chat,
need.
guys. We're doing the giveaway now. Someone's asking, how old is Joshua now? I
Oh,
am 23 years old. I'm very young. I started very young. But yeah. So
all right. That's, yeah, 6 years difference. 6 years difference.
6 years difference.
I
Oh,
would
I
like to
thought you're
take.
like
I would like to
2 years
those
older than
six years back, and just with the things I know now, I would like to like trade again those 6 years because it would be completely different.
yeah. Yeah, yes. Finally, I've tried it. W's in the chat. They're spamming W. I
You
always
always wanted
wanted to
to
do
do
that.
that, right?
Yeah, I always see streamers like drop W's in the chat. Let's go chat. Anyways.
I don't think it's going to work for us because we're no longer Gen Z streamers. I think we would have to be like very quite younger. But let me see. Yeah, I think we've got all of you guys. So I'm going to now share the screen, and I'm going to spin the wheel of names for today's winners. So let's see. Let me prepare
Someone
it.
asked, "Are you married?" Someone asked on chat, "Are you married?" Who are you talking? Who are you asking, Jake or Joshua? So we're not gonna answer that
Let's
unless
see.
you specify. Someone
Uh,
asked, like, "Who are you married?"
oh, is it? Okay, so please specify which one you mean. Otherwise, we're gonna take it privately. So let me see. We've got 85 names. All right. We've got 85 names. I'm gonna take all of them and copy it into Wheel of Names. Okay, let me bring the screen and we can dive in. So screen sharing. Here we go, guys. I think you should see the screen, right? Okay, let me also bring me and Joshua back on the screen so we're visible as well. All right, perfect. So I think we should have all the names. Pretty simple. I'm going to spill the wheel of names. Who's going to get chosen? Then that's the winner. We're going to do it 5 times. We've got 5K accounts. So let's do the first one. Let me also open the chat here. Perfect. Let's do it, guys.
And the winner is...
Let's see. And the first one is Tim FX. Congratulations, man. You've been lucky today. Is it just me, or the wheel of name is quite hypnotizing? Because I was watching it and it goes quite fast. So
It's
all right. Best of luck. I'm gonna spin the wheel for the second time. It was very close to the great one. He was just 1 row behind him, and it was the winner from the last time. So it would be. And the second winner, Derek Khalif. Congratulations, man. Let's see here. Perfect. So we've got second winner. Third winner. Sorry, guys, but it's quite late. Someone is asking if the names wheel is still open next time. And the third one is, I'm not going to even try to make it sound like a name. Let's just call it DH. DH, congrats, mate. That's a third winner. We've got 2 more. Best of luck, guys. I can't be even looking at the wheel of names. It's hypnotizing me, to be honest. Feels like a chicken. Okay. Oh, we've got Dennis. Congrats. It's the 4th one, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, we've got 4. And now for the last one. Let's see. I'm going to spill. And the 5th one is Yeezy Trades. I hope I pronounced it right. So, guys, those of you who've been chosen by the wheel of names, here are the names: Tim FX, Derek Khalif, DH, and then Dennis and Easy Trades. Congratulations to you guys. You are winning the 5K evaluation. What you need to do is to go either on X or Instagram, then send us a message, send us a screenshot of your YouTube profile so we know that account goes to you, and we're gonna give you the account. As easy as that. For those of you who didn't win today, I guarantee you're gonna have more luck next time.
Yeah.
Let me see if someone in the chat is asking before we pick up the show. Yeah, there's more questions. There's just questions coming. So guys, just so you know, for the next stream, before we actually do the next stream, I'm going to run a poll in the Discord for all of the questions that were in the chat. So you can choose which ones you would like us to focus on. And we're going to choose top 3. Maybe we'll have a guest. If not, then me and other traders, maybe Joshua, we will discuss those questions, provide you with some tips, some insights from our journeys, from our experience. So that's how it will go. Nevertheless, thank you so much, Joshua, for being here today. I hope that Chet enjoyed you being here, and I guarantee that you have passed some legit insights and knowledge. So thank you so much, man.
Yes, appreciate it. Also, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. Chat's funny. I've enjoyed chat. I've just been looking chat. So
yeah, we've got good people in the chat. Yeah, so sometimes it's last time when we were chatting about quite funny topics. Chat was very interactive. I appreciate you guys being that active in the chat. Just keep it going, and we'll prepare some nice things for the future of the show. Appreciate you all, guys. Thank you once again, Joshua, and I'll see you next Wednesday again. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Yes, bye-bye.